Kimberly welcomed her son's bride, Diana, with open arms and a heart full of joy. She believed this moment marked the beginning of a beautiful new chapter for their family. As she reached out to take Diana's hands and share a heartfelt message, something caught her eye, something that made her freeze. A birthmark on Diana's hand. It looked hauntingly familiar, unlocking a door to memories Kimberly had long buried. Years earlier, Kimberly's son, Richard, had moved to Chicago. Though they stayed in touch at first, their conversations had gradually dwindled as his work consumed more of his time. She missed him terribly but understood his need to build his own life. Still, as a mother, she often worried about him being alone, especially as an introvert who struggled to form deep connections. Then, a year into his new life, Richard called with excitement in his voice. He had met someone. Her name was Diana, and he spoke of her with a warmth and admiration Kimberly had never heard before. Over the years, Diana became a regular topic of conversation. Eventually, Richard announced their engagement. Kimberly was overjoyed. She eagerly began preparing for the wedding, thrilled that the ceremony would be held locally. Though she had spoken to Diana over the phone, she had never seen her in person. The anticipation of meeting her soon-to-be daughter-in-law made her heart race. On the wedding day, Kimberly dressed in her finest and headed to the venue. Her heart swelled as she embraced Richard, overwhelmed with pride and happiness. Then came the moment she had been waiting for, meeting Diana. Diana, radiant in her white gown, smiled warmly and introduced herself. Kimberly, visibly moved, called her beautiful. But as she took Diana's hands, her gaze locked onto the birthmark. Her body went still. Her heart raced. That exact same mark had been on the hand of her daughter, her biological daughter, who had gone missing 2 decades earlier. Trembling, Kimberly gathered herself and gently asked Diana where her parents were. Once introduced, she quietly asked to speak with them in private. With a deep breath, she asked a single, life-changing question. Was Diana adopted? The couple exchanged uneasy glances before reluctantly confirming the truth. Diana had been found abandoned as a child. After reporting it to the authorities and hearing nothing, they adopted her and raised her as their own. As Kimberly processed this revelation, Diana, watching from a distance, grew increasingly unsettled. Hearing Kimberly mention a missing daughter from Alabama and the identical birthmark, she couldn't hold back any longer. Overwhelmed, she rushed forward, tears in her eyes. Is it true? Am I adopted? Her adoptive parents, now emotional, confirmed it again. They had tried to find her birth family, but with no success. Diana's world crumbled. The happiest day of her life had become a nightmare. If Kimberly was her mother, then Richard was her brother. Their marriage couldn't happen. Crying, she turned to Richard and apologized, saying they couldn't be together. But Richard gently took her hands, calm and composed. He smiled and shared a revelation of his own. He wasn't Kimberly's biological son either. After losing her daughter, Kimberly had adopted Richard and raised him as her own. They weren't related by blood. A wave of shock, then joy swept over the room. What began as a tragic, heartbreaking discovery turned into an incredible miracle. A long-lost daughter reunited with her mother, and 2 people free to love without guilt. Tears of joy streamed down Kimberly's face as she gave them her blessing. The wedding continued, now with even deeper meaning. That day wasn't just the celebration of a marriage. It became a celebration of love, fate, and a long-awaited reunion that healed wounds thought to be permanent.